Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 106th Kritzerland show here at Kritzerland, downstairs in a living room rather than our usual home of Feinstein's upstairs at Vitello's. How many of you have been with us before? I always ask that question of our audience, so I'm asking it of you at home. How many of you have been with us before? Just send up hearts and emojis and little smiling things. And how many of you are new to us? Well, look at that. So for those of you who are new to us, I always do have to explain at our shows that I am elderly, although I don't know why I have to explain that but I am elderly and I must read from the paper, and I have a little clipboard with me at Vitello's with everything written on a paper, but I don't have to have the clipboard tonight. But if you see my eyes furtively darting around, it's because I have papers everywhere that I am indeed reading from. So we're very excited about tonight's show. Well, I'm very excited about tonight's show, and why wouldn't I be? You see, I have a new book out, my 20th book, which is a book of my lyrics called Simply a Lifetime of Lyrics. And so tonight's show is an evening of my songs. I started writing songs when I was 14 years old. I'd started Hamilton High School that year, and I remember I got cast in the drama class production of The Crucible. I was in the role of Judge Hawthorne, a fine dramatic role, which I turned, of course, into a comic role. During rehearsals or between rehearsals, the lead fellow who's playing John Proctor, who's named Frank Summers, there was a piano backstage, and he'd go to the piano and he'd start playing a song called That's All, which is probably the only song he knew how to play, since that's all we ever heard from him. But I took notice of a curious phenomenon. As soon as he would start playing that song, all the girls would gravitate towards the piano and swoon. Well, I wanted swooning girls, so I did Frank one better, and I wrote a song called I'm in Like With You, and you know what? It worked. I had swooning girls. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that stuff as the show goes along, but for now, why don't we just get this show on the road and start at the top with the opening number of the very first original musical I wrote, which was called, cleverly, Start at the Top. So here to sing Start at the Top from Start at the Top, please welcome Daniel Bellusci, Ali Gutierrez, Joe Fiordaliso Riahi, Sam Linkowski, Oliviana Marie, Liam Pierce, and Mackenzie Wrap.
Can't you place the face?
Don't you know the name?
We were friends.
You took me out.
Start at the top, way back when. Start at the top, maybe then. If you try, you might be able to piece it together. Start at the top, be alert. Start at the top, it may hurt, but you'll see, you'll feel much better when it's all together. So much to remember, so much to try to think out, to make sense of.
Faces come back to you, places that you go to.
Can't you place the face?
Don't you know the name?
We were friends.
You took me out. You sat by the me in science. We used to pass notes. You drove me to that romantic spot with the fabulous view.
I lived next door on the
And all that we did,
Georgie.
was look at the view.
Georgie.
Who else would do that but you?
We had fun.
You knew me.
remember me, remember me, remember. I was your friend. Remember me, remember me, remember me, remember me. Remember me, remember me, remember me, remember me. Voices you haven't heard come back, and triggered by some trivial word, takes you back to times you thought were gone.
Start at the top, then you'll know. Start at the top, here I go. And I'll try, knowing why things were the way that they were then. Start at the top, at the top, at the top, the top.
Daniel Bellusci and our wonderful group of singers. I wrote Start at the Top in 1971, and its first production happened in September of that year at my alma mater, Los Angeles City College. It got me an agent, the wonderful Frank Levy at CMA, which became ICM later. Frank loved the score, and I was thrilled to have such a big agent for my writing, let me tell you. The show had 2 subsequent productions, and we had an extraordinary thing happen to it, which I'll tell you about a little bit later. Next up, I thought we should do one song from way back when, and this one was the second song I wrote, written when I was 15, just a short while ago. We'd moved to a new house, and my mother arranged for me to have piano lessons so that perhaps I wouldn't play just the same 4 chords over and over again, which drove her crazy, which, let me tell you, was not a long drive. Anyway, my teacher taught what he called musical shorthand. I loved taking lessons from him. I learned names of notes, how to plunk out melody lines, and most importantly, how to put notes together to make chords of all kinds. I was playing in no time, and learning that way meant that I could play in any key easily. So while other pianists who learned the normal way would lament and struggle with keys like B and G flat, to me, they came very easily. So here to sing I See Rainbows, which is in neither of those keys, please welcome Adrienne Stiefel.
I see rainbows everywhere, lighting up the darkest night. And I see rainbows, bright and blinding, though I know that they're nowhere in sight. I see rainbows in your smile, in that smile that you smile for me. And I see rainbows in the raindrops, it's a colorful world that I see. Everywhere I go now, people stop and stare. They can understand that I'm not really crazy. I'm not in a dream. Okay, so I'm crazy. It's just how I seem to feel. I see rainbows when we walk, and I hold your hand in mine. Every night, every day, everywhere, every way, I see rainbows and you. Everywhere I go now, people stop and stare. They can understand that I'm not really crazy. I'm not in a dream. Okay, so I'm crazy. It's just how I seem to feel. I see rainbows when we walk, and I hold your hand in mine. Every night, every day, everywhere, every way, I see rainbows and you.
Adrienne Stiefel, that wasn't bad for 15, was it? And now we go forward in time to a little year I like to call 2006, and my musical, The Brain from Planet X. I wrote the book with a friend of mine, David Wechter, and I did the music and lyrics for it. I directed its world premiere production in the big theater at Los Angeles City College with a mix of pros and students. It was a send-up of bad 1950s sci-fi alien invasion movies, you know, like Plan 9 from Outer Space and The Brain from Planet Eros. After LACC, we were invited to bring the show to NYMF, the New York Festival of New Musicals, which we did in 2007. And that went really well for us, so well, in fact, that the Rodgers and Hammerstein organization picked the show up for licensing to stock and amateur companies. Then in 2008, we were invited to do the show, this time for the brand new LA Festival of New Musicals over at the Chance Theater in Anaheim. I was asked to direct that production as well. That run was a complete sellout, and the show got raves from every reviewer, actually. Now, I always begin by writing the opening number of a show. I've always had a good sense of how to do that, and it sets the tone for the show. But it wasn't until I wrote the song you're about to hear that I knew the show would work. Here to sing Here on Earth, sung by 1958's happiest housewife, Joyce Bunson. Here's Kerry O'Malley.
Look up there. There are stars in the sky over there. I am baking a pie. I'm broiling a steak. You're drinking a beer here on Earth. Look at us. We're just two little specks living life. Having meals, having sex. Just husband and wife. With nothing to fear here on Earth. Happy little marrieds with never a quandary, a perfectly wonderful pair. Happy little marrieds with no dirty laundry to air. When you come home from a hard day at work and you're needy, do I rub your weary shoulders and neck? Yes, indeedy, a perfect little life in our cozy little house. What a world, it's so big and so round. Look at me, being deep and profound, a fairy tale life to cherish and cheer here on Earth, where dreams come true, here on Earth with you. Happy little marrieds with never a quandary, a perfectly wonderful pair. Happy little marrieds with no dirty laundry to air. When I have my time of month, who is so understanding, who is always there for you and is never demanding, your perfect little wife with her perfect little spouse. What a world, it's so big and so round. Look at me, being deep and profound, a fairy tale life to cherish and cheer here on Earth, where dreams come true, here on Earth with you.
Kerry O'Malley. From 2006, we go back to 1975. Anybody remember 1975? It was a rather momentous year for me in just about every way. Back in 1969, I'd had a notion that it would be funny to spoof the nudie movies of that era. Now, these were not hardcore movies. That would arrive 2 years later. And I even wrote a few ditties back in 1969. And over the next few years, Cindy Williams, who loved the idea, would talk about it, and we'd try to figure out how to do it. Then I met a fellow named Mark Haggard, and he'd seen a show of mine and loved it and wanted in on this movie thing. So suddenly we were meeting with all kinds of weird, and I do mean weird, money people. And I wrote the script, wrote more songs, and we kept hunting for the dough. And somehow, miraculously, we found it. We found $150,000 to make our little movie. And so we began shooting on May 5th, 1975 in 35 millimeter. For 18 days, and yes, Cindy Williams starred along with Stephen Nathan, who was the original Jesus in Godspell, and I was in the picture, and some LACC chums like Diana Canova. I really don't actually know how we pulled it off, but we did. The first public preview of the first nudie musical with the work print and separate sound was unbelievable. Screaming, laughter from start to finish. And then miraculously, we sold the film to Paramount. What happened after that involved a lot of drama, but in the end, most reviewers loved it, and we became a rather huge cult film, which is having its 45th anniversary right now. Oh my Lord. Here to sing just about the only song we could sing in a family show, The Lights and the Smiles, here's Sami Staitman.
I just got out here from Indiana. I hit this big town today. I came to be in the moving pictures. At my first try, what did they say? They said yes, so I guess I'm on my way. And though I know this movie's not exactly what you'd call Class A at all, that's not the way at all I feel. Everything's going, I'm moving, not slowing down, and my world is looking fine. I found the luck that I knew I would need, and the lights and the smiles will be mine. Shy, unprotected, and yet I expected to make my own name, my own way. Frightened and scared, but it all worked out right. There'll be lights, there'll be smiles every day. And they warned me, this town
Staitman. Before we go any further, can I just introduce you to our wonderful musical director and maker of tracks, Richard Allen.
Good to see you.
Hi, Richard. Back in 1972, I wrote a song called I Don't Have to Hide Anymore. I'd done my fourth Partridge Family by then, and don't tell anyone, but I kind of had a little crush on Susan Day, and I kind of wrote this song for her. David Cassidy heard it and was rather keen on it and thought about recording it, but, didn't happen. I ended up putting the song in the first nudie musical over the end credits. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to do it tonight, so won't you please welcome Robert Yacko.
Will I be boring, or will you be ignoring the things I say? Oh, I wish there were something pat that I could run up and say to you now. But I get stuck and I don't know how to say what I mean. I'd say things that I want to. Yes, I really should move on to the point of this. Oh, I really am in a rut, but I'll try saying the things that I feel. It really isn't a great big deal. Believe me, it's not. All right then. You make me smile and laugh. Doesn't sound like much, but it's simple things. A look, a touch, and I feel so warm. I feel so right inside. You bring me out, and I don't have to hide anymore. You make me smile and laugh. Doesn't sound like much, but it's simple things. A look, a touch, and I feel so warm. I feel so right inside. You bring me out, and I don't have to hide anymore.
Robert Yacko. Now, before we move on from Nudie Musical, when Paramount bought the movie, they thought there were 6 minutes in the middle of the film that weren't getting laughs, and I didn't think that was such a problem, but 6 minutes, what's the big deal? But they gave me half of what the entire film had cost and told me to film something that would get laughs. So that night, an idea for a song came to me, and I got up and wrote it in 10 minutes, and the next day wrote the scene that was around it. And that became Dancing Dildos, which ended up being everyone's favorite thing in the entire film. Now, all 4 dancing dildos are still alive and well and practicing dildo distancing. And I thought they should say hello to you tonight, a reunion of the original 4 dancing dildos. Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Gordon.
Hi.
Jeff Harlan, Artie Schaefer, and Steve Judson. This is what these people are known for, ladies and gentlemen. The Dancing Dildos, Together Again. By the way, a little known fact is we tried to get Dancing Dildos up for an Oscar for Best Song, but the median age of the music branch of the Academy back then was about 80, so they weren't having any Dancing Dildos. But wouldn't it have been fun to see that on the Oscar cast? I know I would have liked to have seen that. Back in the late 1990s, I was asked to write a column on a website called the Stephen Sondheim Stage. And I didn't know what writing a column really meant. So of course I said yes. And I did that every week for over 2 years. And while doing it, I began writing what I called what if parodies. What if such and such a composer lyricist, instead of writing the big hit show they were known for, wrote some other show they were completely wrong for. So here's an example. What if Frank Lesser, instead of writing Guys and Dolls, had written The King and I? And it would go something like this. When the king's a guy and Miss Anna's his eye, you can bet there'll be fireworks in Siam. But by God and by Buddha, when he makes with the attitude, then the king's only doing it for some eye, some eye, some eye. The king's only doing it for some eye. Thank you. Well, we did a whole review of What Ifs in 2004, and I've kept on writing new ones for the Kritzerland shows over the years, and I began doing variations on them, like the one we're about to do. So, what if Stephen Sondheim had written a musical version of Psycho? And it goes something like this. Please welcome back Daniel Bellusci.
I'm psycho, what I am is psycho. I'm a little psycho in my head. Shower, you don't want to shower, or within the hour you'll be dead. Wear mom's clothes, though they're a little drab. But I'm happy, happy being psycho. With a schizo, it's so clear you'll die. But this psycho wouldn't hurt a fly.
I've been watching these musical numbers in 3D, by the way. They're very lifelike. It's like, it's like, whoa, look at that 3D effect. Anyway, it's very exciting to see these musical numbers in 3 dimensions, ladies and gentlemen. After Paramount bought Nudie Musical, I was called into the office of Dick Silbert, who ran the studio, and he told me I was their new golden boy of comedy. After which he said the line that became the title of my first memoir, Bruce, there's Mel, there's Woody, and there's you. Well, things didn't quite turn out like that for reasons you can read about in the book, but I did write a follow-up movie, hoping they would do, called Sailors. I thought it might be fun to send up all those MGM sailor musicals of old, but set in the then current 1970s. 3 fellows from a tiny town who love those MGM musicals join the Navy thinking it's going to be just like that, and that they'll sing and dance on the boat and find girls galore ashore. Needless to say, real life isn't like the movies, and them singing and dancing gets nothing but quizzical looks and revulsion, but they do meet 3 girls on their shore leave. The closest the movie got to being made was when my agent, Phil Gersh, put me together with Saul Chaplin, who'd been part of all of those legendary MGM movies. I met with Saul at the home of composer Bronislaw Kaper, who's one of my favorite composers, and I got to play his piano while I played Saul some of the songs, which he loved. But I don't think he got the humor of the script because he was very old, 67. 5 years younger than I am now. But ultimately I said I didn't think it would work with him, which was incredibly stupid of me, and the movie never got made. So tonight we thought it might be fun to do the song that one of the girls that they meet sings, which just happens to be called It Might Be Fun. Here's Adrienne Stiefel.
It might be fun, it might be a lark, it might be just what I need. But you make the move, yes, you light the spark, I'll follow your lead. All of my life I've sat on the fence, I've been in control, I've used common sense, so I've had a life without much suspense. But now there's a world that seems so immense and new. You came along so sure of yourself, I thought you were really nuts. You told me to get off of my shelf, no ifs, ands, or buts. But I must say you had me enthralled, though making a move, well, that had me stalled. I know that my life should be overhauled, my tries at romance should all be recalled, it's true. Okay, so I'm wary, I didn't know just who, what, or where you were, but I admit that now I feel very glad that when I looked up that there you were. So it might be fun, it might be amusing, seeing where this all goes. It might be strange, it might be confusing, but then who knows? It could just work, erase all my doubt, and make me less scared. It might bring me out, and that would be nice if that came about. I might even sing, I might even shout. It might be fun to work it all out. Yes, it might be fun.
Now we jump forward to just a couple of years ago. The Kritzerland co-producer Doug Haverty called and said he had an idea for a musical, a modern-day feminized version of A Christmas Carol, which ended up being called A Carol Christmas, with Scrooge becoming a power-driven, hard-working woman named Carol. I thought it was a terrific idea, actually, and the Group Rep Theater in North Hollywood wanted to do it and committed to it. And so Doug wrote the book and I did the score and directed it. Doug and I were both nominated for Ovation Awards and lost. But I did win a Cine Award for the score. And we got to make a cast album, too. So we're going to do two songs from that score right now. The first is sung by Carol. It's her first song in the show and kind of tells us who she is. Now, the wags of musical theater will tell you that the second song in a musical, which this was, should be an I want song, telling the audience what the characters want and need is. In our show, I got to write an anti-I want song. So here to sing All I Want for Christmas, please welcome the wonderful actress who played Carol, Hartley Powers.
They say that I am driven. Well, I guess that's a given. That's the price that you pay when you live in the world I do. If I see the Christmas spirit, I don't want to go anywhere near it. Christmas joy, don't want to hear it, it's all true. Christmas comes but once a year. That's far too often for me. That's clear. All I want for Christmas is for Christmas to be done. There's no stopping Christmas once the damn thing has begun. Got no time for Christmas carols or a Christmas tree. You can just keep Christmas far from me. All I want for Christmas is the money rolling in. People calling, people buying, let that joy begin. All the rest is window dressing, and it's all a bore. I'd like to put Christmas on ignore. Will I have myself a merry little Christmas? No, I won't. Do I have chestnuts roasting on an open fire? No, I don't. When they sing about those reindeer, well, it makes me want to scream. Santa down my chimney is like having a bad dream. All I want for Christmas is for all of this to end. Christmas every 4 years, that's what I would recommend. Mistletoe and old Saint Nick don't interest me at all. Did I once like Christmas? Well, I really don't recall. Christmas wishes make me dizzy. I'm too busy being busy. Just one thing I want on Christmas Day, and that's for Yuletides and sleigh rides and jingle bells and Santa Claus and Christmas to go away.
Hartley Powers. Hartley is also responsible for the technical aspects of our Kritzerland at Home shows. Couldn't do them without her. And she is staying at home, social distancing, and wearing a mask, but not when she sings. I too am doing my bit. I'm staying home, eating too much, and therefore trying to flatten my curve. The second song from A Carol Christmas was the last one I wrote for the show. I thought we were done, actually, but Doug called and said he thought we needed an inspirational song for the Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim characters, which in our show were female, Blythe and Trina. And I said, like what? Climb every mountain, you'll never walk alone? I'm not writing that. But he kept at me, and I reread the scene in the middle of the show where he thought it should go, and I realized it could use a song there, just not Climb Every Mountain. So I came up with the song you're about to hear, and it became just about my favorite song in the score. I called it Climb Every Mountain and You'll Never Walk Alone. I'm kidding, of course. It's called Little Miracles, and couldn't we all use some of those right about now? Please welcome back Kerry O'Malley.
The world is filled with little miracles, and though sometimes they might pass you by, there comes a day when one little miracle stops and looks you in the eye and says, today's your little miracle, the one that you've been waiting for. And then you get your little miracle, and you don't have to wait anymore. And every day brings little miracles. You can't predict when they might appear. Don't give up hope for your little miracle. Wait, could be it's almost here, and someday soon your little miracle, the one that's slightly overdue. It only takes one little miracle for all your hopes and dreams to come true. When you least expect it, that's when it comes. Yes, when you least expect it, there it is, with bells and drums. Listen carefully, so don't give up on little miracles. If you give up, they might go astray. If you believe in little miracles, they could be here any day. And then you'll have your little miracle the day it shows up at your door. The day you get your little miracle. Yes, that's the day that I'm waiting for. Yes, that's the miraculous day I'm waiting for.
The next song is one I actually wrote for my first mystery novel, which was called Writer's Block, which is about the tryout of a new musical circa 1969 and all of that backstage drama that ensues, including murder. So for the book, I had to create the musical that was trying out, which I called Bus and Truck, a musical about the last leg of a touring show and all that backstage drama and comedy therein. For the leading man of the musical within the book, I needed a ballad, and this is what I came up with. Here to sing I'm Here, Robert Yacko.
I've been here, I've been there. I've been going in circles, not getting anywhere. But whatever I've done, one thing's clear. I may leave, I may stray, but at the end of the day, I'm here. Sometimes work, sometimes play, sometimes selfish and foolish and vain along the way. All the times that I've been insincere, on the move, on the run, but when it's all said and done, I'm here. I know my heart was reckless from the start, never smart, never wise, never fair. But still, it's true, I end up here with you, like you knew I would do, could do, should do. Some regrets, well, a few. And if given a chance, would I change? I wish I knew. But could I really go nowhere near? On a binge, on a tear, but I don't get anywhere. And the one thing I know is at the end of the show, I'm here. I know my heart was reckless from the start, never smart, never wise, never fair. But still, it's true, I end up here with you, like you knew I would do, could do, should do. Some regrets, well, a few. And if given the chance, would I change? I wish I knew. But could I really go nowhere near? On a binge, on a tear, but I don't get anywhere. And the one thing I know is at the end of the show, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Back in 1978, anybody remember 1978? I wrote a musical called Stages for the 50th anniversary of the Los Angeles City College Theater Department. It was loosely based on my time there, and it was a lot of fun to do. And it was such a success there that a producer saw it and immediately moved it to the Matrix Theater on Melrose, where we played a sold-out 3-month run and then made a cast album. The show has had several other productions around the world. In the show, one of the characters is called Lorne Roy Wayne, and that character just wants to be a cowboy actor, like his heroes on the silver screen and television. And it was based on a fellow that I went to school with named Tom Roy Lowe, who had his dream come true when he was cast as the villain in Clint Eastwood's The Outlaw Josie Wales. So here to sing Cowboy Buckaroo, welcome back, Daniel Bellusci.
I always wanted to be a cowboy buckaroo, to ride the range in my trusty steed. Well, it may sound strange, but it's all I need to be happy. Like Gene or Hoppy, they're the guys I copy. I always wanted to be a rootin', tootin' boy, to wear big boots, a 10-gallon hat. You know, nothing suits me more than that. I'll be happy. Like Rex or Randy with the gun, I'm handy. Crossing through the prairie, kicking up the dust behind me. It gets pretty scary when there's bad guys creeping just behind me. I know of no better way to end the day than say, yippee-ki-yay! I mean it, I always wanted to be a cowboy on the screen, to shoot 'em down, all those evil ones. Yes, I'd save the town and then twirl my guns. I'm so happy! When I'm in this mood, I'm a real fine dude. Leonardo leaves me bored. Give me Wayne and Fonda and Pappy Ford. Keep your intellectuals who perplex. Just give me chaps and call me Tex. Give me Roys and Dales and Dukes and Hanks. Give me happy trails and I'll send my thanks. And with any luck, I'll be a cowboy buckaroo. Yippee-ki-yay.
In 1981, I got to make my second motion picture, which was called The Creature Wasn't Nice. I had the pleasure of writing, directing, and acting alongside Cindy Williams, Leslie Nielsen, Patrick McNee, and Garrett Graham. It was kind of a musical comedy version of Alien and all those 1950s monster loose on the spaceship pictures. Now, when the creature is finally captured, they hook it up to the computer to see what it's trying to communicate with its terrifying screams. Now, Guy Haynes was going to be here to sing this song tonight, the Creature song, for you, but he's at home self-isolating, wearing a mask, and staying 6 feet away from the mirror so he doesn't infect himself. So I hope you don't mind if I fill in for him. Maestro, if you please. I want to eat your face, It could just be so yummy. I'd like to have your face in my tummy. I want to eat your smile. Your smile is so beguiling. If I could eat your smile, I'd be smiling. Hey, I want to eat your arm. I want to eat your leg. So won't you please be nice people and don't make me beg. Oh, baby, I want to eat your knees, for they would really please me. So let me eat those knees. Don't you tease me. I want to eat your face. I've got to eat your face. So let me eat that wonderful, marvelous, beautiful, fabulous face. Thank you so much. The Creature song, ladies and gentlemen. The director's cut of the film recently came out on the DVD for the first time ever. And even though I've never revealed this, I am the singing voice of the Creature in the motion picture. The Creature was, of course, played by the wonderful Ron Kurowski. Here is the DVD. The film was horribly mangled by its producers, but the original director's cut is now available for the first time on the DVD. Now we go back to start at the top. The second production of the show, also in 1971, happened at a small upstairs theater called Theater of Arts, which I think was on Beverly Boulevard. It was paid for by someone who'd seen the show at LACC and loved it, and who became a very good friend of mine, Gary Burkhart. That production starred the wonderful actor Michael Burns, with whom I did my very first pilot ever earlier that year for CBS. Then the extraordinary thing happened. Gary introduced me to his friend, a young, good-looking singer named Chip Hand. Chip heard the score and loved it, and he was, at the time, a protege of Merv Griffin. So he told Merv about it, and Merv asked to meet me, and so off I went to the Hollywood Palace to meet with Merv. He was really gracious and nice, and he asked me to play a few songs from the show, and I did. And after I finished playing 2 or 3, he said, I know what we'll do. Let's do a backers audition on my show. Well, we did it, and it remains the only show to have ever had a backers audition on national television. And I got to sing one of the songs with Mort Lindsay and the band, with Mort orchestrating the song. You know Mort, Judy Garland's conductor, arranger. What a thrill. And that led to the third production, where I expanded the show into 2 acts and realized the book of the show was really not very good. I'd never been happy with the leading lady's ballad, so for that production I wrote a new song, and it remains one of my favorites of all that I've written. So here to do You Said, please welcome back Adrienne Stiefel.
You said we'd have so much, said there'd be such good times like I never knew. But I guess I'll have those good times without that
I met Richard Sherman of the Sherman Brothers back in 1998, and he instantly became one of my dearest friends. For the past decade or so, he and his lovely wife Elizabeth have come to my annual Christmas Eve do, which I've been doing for a quarter of a century now. He really liked my songs, and he was always saying we should write something together. So about 4 years ago, for his Christmas present, I handed him a lyric I'd written just for him. And about 3 days later, he called and said, "Here, listen." And he played me a classic Richard Sherman tune. We both finessed the song and then premiered it at a Kritzerland show, and we've done it many, many times since. So here to sing Two Roads, please welcome one of my favorite singers and friends. We've done 3 albums together, this wonderful man and I, the fabulous Brent Barrett.
Once in a while you gotta put on a smile, even when things go wrong. There are always 2 roads you can travel on the highway of your life. One is smooth, one has gravel, one has happiness, one has strife. And though you can't be in control of the roll of the dice, if you can tote your load down that happy road, don't think twice. There are always 2 roads you can travel, and the choice is yours to make. If your life should unravel, then it's obvious which to take. Your destination's never clear to what's dear to your heart. But if you try to live thinking positive, that's a start. If the road seems dubious or it's too lugubrious, take the one salubrious for you to use. Smile away that gloomy frown, turn a sad day upside down. What might start as a ruse could end in good news. There are always 2 roads you can travel, leave the bumpy road behind. You're the judge, use your gavel, grief or happiness, how do you find? You've got to choose it, never lose it, that road that's open wide. And if you begin with a great big grin, you'll enjoy the ride. Take it, Richard! If the road seems dubious or it's too lugubrious, take the one salubrious for you to use. Smile away that that gloomy frown, turn a sad day upside down. What might start as a ruse could end in good news. There are always two roads you can travel. Leave the bumpy road behind. You're the judge, use your gavel. Grief or happiness, how do you find? You've got to choose it, never lose it. That road that's open wide. And if you begin with a great big grin, tote your load down the happy road and start to live thinking positive, you'll enjoy the ride. You'll enjoy the ride.
Brent Barrett. Look who's here, Richard Sherman.
Hello, Bruce. It was a great joy working with you on Two Roads. You have great talent, and I wish you continued success.
Love you, Richard. Back to stages. This song features three girls from a theater arts department who were all up for the same role and who all lose it to the beautiful girl who can't really act at all. This, of course, does not make them happy. I call this song Lament for Three, and here to sing it are Oliviana Marie, Hadley Miller, and Mackenzie Wrap.
I want that part, give me that part. That part was really mine. So give me that part, and then things will all be fine. You got the part, please feel no guilt. Just ignore the way I'm clenching my fist. Yes, you got that part, and I'll just go slit my wrists. You son of a rat fiend bitch. Give me that part, can't act a minor bitch. But it's only the start, 100 things that are wrong with you. But we're not here to sling mud. No, we never stoop to that kind of thing. But to put it politely, we think you're a dud. I want that part, I need that part. Tell them that you've got a weak heart, the plague or gout, and I'll be their bet, your boots to take on. That I want that part. Give me that part, I need that part. The simplest thing that you've ever heard. I want that part. Just give me that part, and don't be a little turd. Don't be a turd. Give me that part.
Now, here's another What If parody and yet another variation on what they usually are. What if Stephen Sondheim, at the time he wrote A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, had written Sweeney Todd instead? And it goes something like this. Once again, here's Robert Yacko.
Playgoers, I bid you welcome. Kritzerland is a temple, and we are here to honor the gods of comedy and tragedy. Tonight, I am pleased to announce a tragedy. Something with razors, something with meat pies, something for everyone in Sweeney Todd tonight. We've got Joanna, we've got Judge Turpin. Watch out, the blood will flow in Sweeney Todd tonight. Nothing that's cute, nothing that's sweet. You'll find it's true, you are what you eat. You'll find the story gets pretty gory. You'll find that nothing turns out right. Company tomorrow, Sweeney Todd tonight. It all takes place in London. A great big hole like a great big pit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it. First, Joanna, stolen by Judge Turpin, who likes to flog himself while singing cut songs. Second, Mrs. Lovett, a dotty old woman who makes meat pies peppered with actual shepherd. And finally, Sweeney Todd. Sweeney is probably my favorite character in this piece. It is a role of such enormous insanity and madness, played by an actor of such darkness and range. Well, let me put it this way. I play the parts. People get shaved here, no one gets saved here. No one finds happiness in Sweeney Todd tonight. Old Mrs. Lovett thinks nothing of it to bake a little priest in Sweeney Todd tonight. Todd gets revenge, Turpin's the prize. One thing's for certain, everyone dies. No pretty sets here, no safety nets here. Nothing that's breezy and alive. Barber chairs and judges, barbers who hold grudges. Blood that keeps on flowing, body count keeps growing. Vanity, insanity, vulgarity, sincerity. Close shaves, graves, wrong songs, killing, filling, grilling, trilling. Jigs and muffs, slit throats galore. And we will leave you hungry for more. Straight from the harbor, one crazy barber. One big epiphany takes flight. Merrily tomorrow. Oh, I love this one. Sweeney Todd, till night, till night. Sweeney Todd, till night.
All right, here's a song I wrote for no particular reason back around 2003. It just came to me one night. I put it in the What If review the following year, and then Sandy Bainham recorded it on the second album we did together, and it was that album's title song. That year, it won the MAC Award for Best Song of the Year. And that at that time was the only award I'd ever won at that time. That was 2015. It had a nice life in cabaret shows, and it's the title of my book, as you know. Here to Sing Simply is a person I adore. We did 2 albums together, and they're 2 of the best I ever produced. Won't you please welcome the wonderful Christiane Noll.
I don't need fireworks, don't need parades. I don't need choirs singing or bells ringing. I don't need shouts of elation. I don't need a show. Simply tell it to me simply. Say it to me simply. Then I'll know. I don't need starry skies. I've had my fill. I don't need pretty speeches, moonlit beaches. I don't need flowers and candy. I don't need a band. Simply tell it to me simply. Say it to me simply, and I'll understand. All I need is a smile. Guess I'm just sentimental, but quiet and gentle's my style. Don't need frills or a chase, just someone don't need candlelight, don't need champagne, I don't need fancy dancing or romancing, I don't need rainbows to thrill me, simple things will do. Simply tell it to me, simply say it to me, simply when it's true. Simply I love
Back in 1973, I wrote a musical about food called Feast. I thought food was a good idea for a musical, and once again we premiered it at my alma mater, Los Angeles City College. Now my favorite memory was when most of the Partridge Family folks trudged upstairs to this tiny theater we were in to see it, including Shirley Jones, David Cassidy, Susan Day, and 3 of the producers, and they all really loved the show. And after I did what would be my final episode of the Partridge Family, the plan was they were going to write another episode, and did, one that would bring my character back and would include a song from Feast with my character calling on the Partridges to help and come up to Bakersfield and perform in a show that my character was doing. So they wrote the script, which I still have, but then unfortunately, as sometimes happens, the show was canceled, so we never did it. But we did Feast again at the Morgan Theater the following year in 1974, where it received a rave review from Rob Stevens and a horrible review from the LA Times' most obnoxious critic, Lawrence Kristen. I would then take 2 of the show's characters and literally plop them into the first nudie musical. So the show is a very positive thing for me. Here to sing the show's final song, the I'm on a Diet Blues. Please welcome back Kerry O'Malley.
I've got the I'm on a diet. Didn't want to try it, blues. It seems my life's occupation is the road to starvation, paying and paying my lifelong dues. I guess that's the way the ball bounces when you're forced to eat only 3 ounces, when that calorie counter announces the amount you ate went and put you overweight. And it's back to the watch what you take now, don't you touch that cake now, blues. You know it takes me back to have no midnight snack to appease the taste my hungry palate accrues. And sometimes it doesn't seem worth it, some courage I'll have to unearth it, but when I take one look at my girth, it gives me the guts to make sure the ice box shuts. And I'm holding on, and I'm trying my best, and I'm showing my strength, and I'm eating the test. I'll eat my salads bare, oh, they'll never be dressed. Why is the word diet so hard to digest? It's so hard to digest. I've got the I'm on a diet. cheeses, hide the food that teases. Then I spend all night just looking for clues. Oh, I wish that I could be thin now. Thinness, so won't you begin now? But bigness has moved itself in now, and it wants to stay. Bigness, won't you go away? I've got the I'm on a diet, so broil it, don't fry it, 'cause I just want to cry. Blue.
The I'm on a diet blues, and who doesn't have those these days, staying at home and eating everything in sight? Before we do our final number, may I just thank a few folks. First and foremost, Hartley Powers for making all this happen so smoothly, and wasn't it smooth? We had production things, we had people, group numbers, and trios. So exciting. She's a technical whiz, you know. And I'd also like to thank our co-producer, who also happens to be the new artistic director at the Group Rep Theater, Doug Haverty, where I've been directing a few shows lately, but the theater has had to shut down and is in dire financial straits trying to meet the rent payments until they can reopen and get back to their wonderful season of shows. So this is, as it was last month, a kind of benefit for them. So if you can and are feeling like it, please make a donation to them. They would be so appreciative of that. Here's how to do it, and all donations are completely tax deductible. Also, many thanks to our musical director, Richard Allen, who I think became an alcoholic trying to get this show done.
Seriously, to all of you, great job, everybody.
Most of the time, we like to close our shows with a big number, but occasionally we close soft. This song is from a one-girl musical I wrote called Welcome to My World. I believe completely in its philosophy. Here to sing Everything Is Gonna Be All Right is the girl who starred in the show and introduced this song, Sami Staitman.
Getting through the day when the whole world is in your way, it always seems so tough. When things don't work out, you want to stand and scream and shout and say enough's enough. Every day a dilemma. How can you make it through? Every day it's like them against you know who. But you gotta hold on, and you gotta hold tight, and you gotta take every day the way that it comes. 'Cause if you can hold on, and if you can hold tight, then I'm telling you that everything will work out. You'll find your way, and everything is gonna be all right. When you feel alone and you feel stranded on your own, and days are really rough, though things may look bleak and life is kind of up the creek, you gotta call life's bluff. At the end of the tunnel, there's a beautiful light. No more gloom, 'cause the sun will be shining bright. So you gotta hold on, and you gotta hold tight, and you gotta take every day the way that it comes. 'Cause if you can hold on, and if you can hold tight, then I'm telling you that everything will work out. You'll find your way, and everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be
Sami Staitman, Ali Gutierrez, Joe Fiordaliso Riahi, Sam Linkowski, Oliviana Marie, Hadley Miller, Liam Pearson, Mackenzie Wrap, Daniel Bellusci, Hartley Powers, Adrienne Stiefel, Robert Yacko, Brent Barrett, Christiane Noll. We will be back in a month with a new show, whether it be at Vitello's or here online at Kritzerland on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We are in both places. So won't you join us then? Wherever we are, just follow us and you'll find out. Stay safe, be well, be happy, be positive. We'll see you soon.